Hello, I am RAMJB, and this is Task Force Admiral, or at least the demo of the game. This game, I have waited for it for months, and I can tell you the wait was worth it. This is just a demo. This is a very small part of what's going to be the final game, but already is awesome. Let me tell you that. This is going to be a first look. I'm going to guide you through what's in the game already. I'm not going to include gameplay. I'm not going to play a battle here. I will do that in following videos, and especially if you guys give me a thumbs up and you like and you comment, because the more interest I see in this game, the more I'm going to make content about it. And I mean content about just not gameplay. You know me. I'm going to make tutorials. I'm going to speak about history. I'm going to give you all the keys to understand how carriers worked in World War II. Now, what is Task Force Admiral? This is a simulation slash strategy game based on the Pacific career battles of 1942 from the American side. It's only from the American side, no Japanese. Why? Well, because the team Dream Games is a small developer. And yeah, they can't cover too much in a single stroke. That's why this is just the volume 1. If the game does well, and honestly it's so awesome that I really hope it does, probably they will do more volumes covering more of the Pacific War and probably the Japanese as well, who knows. But for now it's just 1942 Americans. And it intends to portray carrier battles in a realistic way, which means realistic carrier operations, which means realistic aircraft handling, realistic strike management, realistic. The graphics are awesome. The AI works pretty well. There are some places where it's wonky, but it's to be expected. This is a demo. This is not even early access. So yeah, well, without further ado, let's speak a little bit about the game. As you can see in the screen right now, there are some really nice historical footage images going on, and we have some options, and some of them grayed out. The ones grayed out, of course, they are not present in the demo. Now here you have the options, limited, but again, this is a demo, so not much else needed. Fleet Defense is a game mode where you take control of an F4F and you have to go against an enemy Japanese strike. The museum is where you can see all the platforms in the game and you can save and load games. Let's go to the battle generator for a second. So here you have a briefing where it's telling you what's in the scenario you are creating. You can change all these parameters. You can go with 1 or 2 carriers. You can change the skill of your and the enemy planes. You can select which way the enemy is going to be toward, relative to your own formation. And you can change or put random in how cloudy it is. And depending on your choices, the briefing will change. For instance, look at that. We have 2 CVs and it's telling us that we have USS Yorkton and Lexington. But if we go with just one, it's going to tell us that we have just Yorktown. If we go for 3 enemy carriers, it's telling they have 3 units. So Sokakus and a light carrier. So yeah. Very well. Let's return to the main menu for a second and let's take a look at the scenarios. Well, the scenarios you can see you have 4 different campaigns. Early battles, that's before Coral Sea. Coral Sea, the famous naval battle of World War II. Of course, Midway has to be here. And Watchtower, which is the campaign around Guadalcanal. As you can see, we will have historical and hypothetical missions and scenarios to play. No campaign that I know of, no dynamic nor canned campaign, but given that there are going to be a lot of scenarios made with the scenario generator, who cares? Right now in this demo, you only can play the Coral Sea scenario. The others are grayed out, you can't access them. But this is a very interesting one. This is the main engagement where Yorkton and Lexington went against Shokaku and Suikaku in May 8th, 1942. This was after Soho had been sunk and Neoso and Sims had been sunk as well. I'm not going to play the scenario here because, as I told you, no gameplay. And also, I don't want to spoil it yet. I want to give you the chance to take a look at it if you want to try the demo. But we are going to go to the battle generator. We are going to take one CB versus one CB. We are going to put good. Who cares? I'm just going to showcase what this game is about. So here we are. This is the CIC of the Yorktown, and from here we can access different screens, and we can access them through hotkeys or by clicking on these buttons here. It's 5 o'clock, May 8th, 1942, and we are in Yorktown, and there's a Japanese carrier nearby. Let's go to the strategic map location. From here, you can control the waypoints and direction of your force, and you can also take a look at different conditions. For instance, weather, radar range, AE range, main battle range, and more importantly, wind. From where does wind come? This is really important because, as you know, in World War II, carrier operations had to be conducted, all of them, takeoffs and landings, with the carrier going straight into the wind. So you have to keep that in mind. Here you have the order of battle, fleets, air, bases. We don't have any contacts. We don't have any. And the ships under your command. From here, we can order strike missions, and order search missions, and we can order our fighters to scramble in case the enemy is coming in, and we need a strong fighter force to defend our ships. 3D. Well, 3D, the problem is that it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so you won't see a lot because it's very dark and YouTube doesn't like dark videos. But like this backlighted, maybe you can see how beautiful this game is. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, sorry. I'm drooling with this game, and I have been playing the demo for some days now. Yeah, it's amazing. Look at the detail. The forebs, the dauntlesses, and last and yeah, in this case least, because these poor things are useless, the Devastator. This is a Yorktown. We can go and take a look at the Morris, maybe the USS Minneapolis, highlighted against the sun. New Orleans, maybe. All of them correctly modeled and beautiful. Yeah, I love this. Anyway, next we have, I call this the, actually you can choose from different screens here. So fleet information is telling you your formation and in generalities of the ship that you have selected. For instance, New Orleans, there you go. They have the information of what they are doing, whether they are on battle quarters or not, whether they are conducting air ops or not, the depth, because there are going to be submarines in this game, speed, vitals, damage, basically, and combat, if they are fighting, well, targets, etc. Let's go to Yorktown. Next, we have the formation editor, and with this, you can edit the positions of your ships around your carrier. In order to do that, you need to create presets. You create a preset and you begin laying your ships around your carrier in whatever way you want using your range circles here. Honestly, the default one, the preset one, is really good. It's a circle formation with destroyers on the outer layer, cruisers in the inner layer, and Yorktown in the middle. So I'm not going to change it. Defensive air ops is where you create your combat air patrols, your CAP. You order your planes to order, for instance, here you can select how far, in which direction, the composition of the CAP, etc. And finally, fighter direction. This is where the enemy threats appear here. You have your CAP assets up here, and you can direct them or let the computer do it for yourself. Next in line, we have the air plot, the aircraft roster, the deck timeline, the missions, the squadrons, and the stores. Aircraft roster is, well, your whole air wing, what it consists of, and where it is. Right now we have 50 on the hangar and 25 on the deck. And by hovering over them, you can see what they are doing. Right now, all of them are unassigned because we have no missions up, and they don't have crew, and they are, some of them, on the flight deck, on static, and others on the hangar. Next, take timeline. When we give orders, for instance, I'm going to order a search mission. I'm going to tell them create a new search. I'm not going to bother explaining a lot about this because, again, this is not gameplay, but I'm going to tell send 10 planes at 15K, covering 90 degrees towards the north, and with a top range of almost 800 kilometers. Very well, accept. And now it's accepted and it's queued. And now, when we go to the timeline, here we go. At 5:50, we are going to begin spotting. It's 44 minutes until that begins. Mission ID is search 2. Number of planes is 10. Descends at 6:01. Is schedule. At 6:01, we are going to launch these guys. Search number 2 is a countdown of 55. So 55 minutes until this begins. It begins at 6:01, ends at 6:03. And these planes, when they go the full way and back, they are expected to be back at 10:42. Activity is going to be recovery. Is 5 hours and a half until then, and is expected to end at 10:53. Missions is, well, the missions that you have queued. Here you have search 2. You can edit it if you want before it launches, of course. Once it's launched, you can't do anything about that. Here is the information of the total missions that you have planned, the total sorties that you have planned, planes lost, crew lost, the range, the duration, the actual duration that when it ends, it will tell you here, and if it's on schedule, delayed for whatever reason, etc. And here's the composition. Here you have squadrons. Those are the squadrons that are on USS Yorktown, BB5, BF42, BS5, BT5. Aircraft type, how many pilots, how many aircraft. This will be a lot more extended on the full game because you will have access to the full pilot roster and the full aircraft roster as well. Right now it's a demo, you don't. Stores, I don't know what this does. In the demo, does nothing. In the game, I don't know what's going to do. I guess it is where your total stores of weapons are listed. How many torpedoes do you have on board, how many bombs, etc. And here you have the final tally of what has gone on in your missions with your squadrons. The total sorties, how many sorties on the day, how many air combat claims, how many bomb hit claims, total of planes lost, and total of crew lost. As you can see, this presentation is very similar to the blackboard that was historically used in World War II. This is how missions were posted in aircraft decks, in carriers. Pilots went to the airplot blackboard to see the missions that were up and how they were scheduled. So there would be more information about it. So when the briefing was going to happen, etc. Okay, down here you can choose and swap between different task forces if you have more than one. You can swap between carriers if you have one more than one. Time compression and pause controls, the time scale. Here you have the scale of the air ops. So this bar down here is telling you the schedule events of the carrier you have selected. In this case, your turn. So here we see that Search 2 is going to be spotted at 5:50 and it's going to end the spotting at 6:01 and then it will take off and then it will done at this time. Of course, this is not set on stone. Different things can happen that change the schedule, but this is a guide of how busy your carrier is in different scales: 1 hour, 4 hours, 24 hours. Here you have the controls to launch a strike, to order search, you have seen that, and to scramble. And up here is the radio box. This is where the messages and notifications happen. Finally, over here, if we go and take your town, you have the stats and the information of your town. Also, down here, you have the different control panels for damage control. For instance, these are magazines, I think. Yep. You don't want to get hit in here. You can trust me on that. Aircraft facilities, the hangar, the elevators, the deck, propulsion, engine, boilers, tanks of avgas and fuel tanks, rudders, propeller shafts. These are the DC stations and the different items that help with that. For instance, the pump. And here, if you are on fire or you are flooding, you will be notified here. There we go. Engines are on. And first plane goes away. Let's take a look from a different position. Have a binoculars position where you can choose your location within the ship from which to look the action. So for instance, if I put myself here, I'm like in the bridge right now and I can see the whole process. I can zoom in. See, those have the engines off. These guys are taking off, they have the engines on. And there goes another one. So yeah, pretty amazing. The best part of it is that the whole thing you can watch here. For instance, this guy has 5 seconds left before it takes off, and this guy 32 and this guy 16. So you can see how are they lining up. Of course, when they launch, well, they are deleted from the ship because they are no longer aboard. And airplanes are airborne and underway. Now we are here, well, we need to protect ourselves against a possible Japanese attack, right? So let's go here, let's go to the defensive air ops, create a new combat air force air zone. Let's say that maybe here, around 50 kilometers away, I'm going to put 2 groups actually. One here and one here with 3 planes each. Now the way this works is, I'm going to pause again for a second. You see, you have to choose your base, your turn. We don't have any other here. It's active, you can put it in inactive. If you choose, you can have a cap inactive and then activate it whenever you want. The type, well, we only have F4, F3s, so that's it. Patrol strength, how many planes do we want to put on the air at the same time in that mission? 3 in this case, but says total assigned 6. Why? Well, because this goes in turns. So first, the first group of 3 takes off, assumes position, patrols the area, and when it begins running out of fuel, the carrier launch other 3, they go there, they take the patrol area, and the initial group comes back and land. So that way you have 3 fighters always on station. That means that we have to have 6 planes for this mission. So 6 it is. How high do we want to patrol? Maybe at 16,000 feet? Okay. Time between rotations, 1 hour, 34 minutes, 34 seconds. That means that after 1 hour and 34 minutes, the second group will take off. And the first one, once it arrives here, it will come back. Now, if we want to edit, you can choose here and say edit. And they say, okay, I want 17,000 feet as well. And maybe I want 203. Well, you can change all of that here. I said. Now, if we go here, well, we are spotting our first planes. This is Cap 101. In the meantime, this guy will take off. Notice how far ahead they launch. Fighters are much lighter than bombers, so they need less deck to take off. Also, I'm not sure, but I think they might be using the catapults on the Yorktown. The Yorktown had 2 mechanical catapults on the front. They are not the same kind of catapults that new modern carriers have, the steam ones. But there you go. Cap is out. Now, if you want to manage your cap manually while they are still not up, you can assume charge and tell them defend the base, so focus on defending the base, stay clear. This is useful when you are coming close to your own fleet because the heavy anti-aircraft guns can hit your own ship, your own planes. So stay clear, keeps them out of the area of the anti-aircraft. And all planes return to patrol if you have decided that the enemy, for instance, is retiring and you don't want to follow them. You can tell them, okay, go back, patrol, because maybe more are incoming. You have more utilities here, but these are grayed out for the tutorial. But you can see, well, focus torpedo bombers, focus dive bombers, free for all, clear the flight deck, scramble all fighters. Well, scramble you have also here. So I guess this is the same thing. I don't know because it's grayed out. So yeah. And there you go. Here it is. Cap 101. Here you have the positions of the scouts we sent before. Here, these are the 3 F4Fs that will go out here to patrol this area. Little better lighting now so we can see the operations better. And of course, we can go to the air and take a look at the spotters, which are already on their way. And if we want to take a look at the fighters, they are already up and away. The level of detail of this game is absolutely amazing. Look at this, cockpit open, better visibility. When they are in combat, they close the cockpit. The detail goes out of that level. It's amazing. Combat happens automatically. You don't have to take part on it. You only order your planes around through this screen if you want to, because you don't have to. Plane fights happen automatically. The plane AI is pretty decent. I think it needs a rework in some ways, but the way it is, honestly, is pretty good. Let's put it that way. Another thing, again, going on the realism of this game, is that once you have launched your planes, you don't have direct contact with them. This is not sea power. In sea power, you have a carrier, you launch your planes, you order them around. Okay, well, not here. Here you have your ship, your carrier, you order your planes to take off and do some mission, they take off and do that mission, but you don't control them directly. So you don't control them and you don't see them unless you can see them. We can't see the bombers that we sent to scout. We only see the 2 groups of fighters that are conducting cap out here, as you can see. There's a way that we can track their progress, which is like this. See, their positions are circles, but we are not directly seeing them. Of course, you can go there and take a look at what they are doing with the 3D view. But this plane will do things on its own. I can't directly order anything to this guy. I can't tell him, no, turn there and go there. No. His orders are set. We gave them on a mission, and that's the thing. And that is very important for strikes. We have a contact, and I think that means that the enemy, we are not going to see it because it's 2 hours our northeast. Anyway, what we are going to do is to take a look at what the cap is doing. Yep, engaging. You have seen the enemy. He's down there. Good attack vector. Good impacts. Very well done. Now this is one of the things I don't like about the AI. They push too hard. If I was a pilot, I would have broken and then come back again. See, they sit just behind and they are easy prey for the machine guns. Now, of course, you can also watch that all the control surfaces are animated. Ooh. They push too hard. Yeah, elevators, aileron, rudder, they are all of them animated, and that guy is down. Okay, that's a scout dead, but probably he has spotted us. Yep, we have been detected by an enemy air cells. Okay. Well, what I was referring to from before is that we detected this guy here, and we don't really have contact with the enemy, so maybe he was out of our search cone. We don't know. But now we know probably enemies are going to come towards us. So what I'm going to do is to order a change of course. And we have planes coming back. This is Cap 101. As run out of fuel, Cap 102 is already circling this position, and now it's time for them to land. Okay, and here we go. It's time to land, and again, realism before anything else. You know, nowadays planes come from behind the aircraft carrier and land on the angle deck. Back in the day, they came from an angle. You can see they are not coming in a straight line. They are making a semicircle and then lining up at the last moment. Well, why? Well, because planes in this time had a very big engine in front of them that wouldn't let them see the deck of the plane of the carrier. So instead of coming directly from behind, where they couldn't see the deck, they came on the side, doing a semicircle, and they only lined up at the very last moment. This way, they could keep track on the deck of the carrier, and in the final stages, there was a landing officer that guided the plane in, while the pilot couldn't see the deck properly anymore. But see, they don't come directly from behind; they come from the side. And again, this proves that this game is awesome in what regards to realism. So yeah, I'm going to show you how this one lands, and I think that's going to be it for this video because this is a first look. I'm not going to show you the big bangs. If you want to see that, and if you are interested in seeing content of this game, please let me know. And views are very important, your likes are very important, your comments are really important. If you want to see me doing videos about Task Force Admiral, please let me know. And by making videos, I mean not just gameplay. As you know me, and if you don't, well, subscribe because you should know me. I do gameplay tutorials, I do history videos, I explain everything related to the game so you can both have fun playing it, know what works and what doesn't, and also understand how things were in real life. And engine off is parked, and the next one is already coming. Don't tell me this game isn't amazing. Well, you are just watching normal carrier operations. You haven't seen any true bombing yet, or what happens when Japanese torpedo bombers come for you, and the aircraft begins anti-aircraft fire begins raining on them. The very big fight between Wildcats and Zeros, the dive bombs of the Dauntlesses. This game is amazing. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please let me know, comment down below, give me a like, subscribe if you haven't, share with others who might have an interest on this game. And if you want to support me through Patreon, you can do so by following the link down in the description. You can also help me by becoming a member of the channel here in YouTube. Thank you very much for watching and see you later.